Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today we're going to talk about a very important set of books that will make you a world-class programmer. First off, this whole video was inspired by a number of sessions that I've had with my quant friend out of London. He's a real-world quant developer, been doing it for quite a while. He's world-class, highly accomplished, and somewhat of a genius. So I got some resources of books that put him in that level. But first I want to talk about programming in general, especially in the world of finance, high-frequency trading, and quant. Let's put it this way. If you're a programmer like me, you're at best mediocre. And I'm saying that as to be blunt as possible. I say that because, you know, I've been in many environments with Bloomberg, Morgan Stanley, CIBC here in Canada, as well as Canadian Pension Plan Investment Board. So I've been in my in various environments of finance, both retail and investment banking. And I'll tell you this, there's a lot of shitty programmers in these environments, like really crappy. And I say that because they don't know how to program. What my quant friend did, and I don't want to come off like trying to bash Multicharts, but we talked about it. He showed me the ability on how he was able to literally decompile Multicharts, the trial edition, and show me the source code. Now, it really boggles my mind that a company like this does not know how to use something like an, I can never say this word, obfuscator to protect the code. They're so friggin' either cheap ass or not doing it, but you can take a look at the code. You can look at all their classes, all their methods and objects within those classes. And there's a lot of other platforms that we looked at. Same thing. So what does that say about programmers? A lot of them are crappy and shitty, overpaid, good-for-nothing programmers. We looked at some of the coding styles. I mean, I'm not much better, to be honest, but when you look at what hedge funds and what they're looking for in terms of coding style, it's so important that you are in a world class. So this is not to offend people, but let's put it this way. If you get in a job in one of these banks and all of a sudden you think you're a good programmer and a year later you get laid off or you get fired, there's a lot of reasons that you probably don't know. But let's get beyond that and let's introduce you some books that are important, because I'll tell you this, these are the books that a lot of the mind-bending interviews that you may be part of that put you through to see if you're a real, again, world-class developer, especially for quant and HFT. So let's go through them. None of these books I've never heard of until yesterday, but I'm just showing you. There's 6 books that I'm going to show you, and they're specifically meant for developers in quant, high-frequency trading, and all that. So let's go through the first one. This is a general book, The Art of Computer Programming, put out by this guy. I know this guy from Stanford. Okay, he's a professor. He's well known. But here is a quote that should get your attention from Bill Gates. If you think you're a really good programmer, read this book, blah, blah, blah. You should definitely send me a resume if you can read the whole thing. It's an expensive book, $200. It's a volume, looks like four volumes. And what does it focus on? It just shows you on how to really build and be a better programmer. So right here, detailed coverage of the basics, forays into esoteric topics, frontiers of research, because I mean that's what finance is about. So it's just a really strong foundation to make you a better programmer. And look at, well, he's got one review. Okay. Let's move on to the next book. This is yeah. This is called Hacker's Law. I'm not saying this is a book that's going to show you how to be a hacker. I don't support that. But hackers are probably some of the most advanced programmers out there, the real ones, not like script kiddies we're talking. real programmers. So what does this book entail? This book is about algorithms, if I remember. Actually, it's shows you how some coding techniques in terms of making more efficient loops. And again, it all refers back to C, and this is what it says. C is used for the high-level language because it's widely known. And they do a lot of bit string operations, and the compilers put out high quality. And I'm going to show you other books that lead into assembler. But again, these are the top three languages pretty well in banking: C, Fortran, Java. It just shows you how to do certain instructions, small tricks that involve individual computer words or instructions, such as counting number of bits and so on and so forth. So it's very low level, and that's where you are starting to get into algorithms to make the algorithms perform faster. Here we got something, instructions level parallelism. I've personally gone on about that, and on it goes. Table lookups, very important in memory, and just really simple stuff, but will make you a better programmer. So let's move on to the next book. This book is really important, especially if you're working with the 64-bit Intel processor. A very low-level book. Obviously, it's for Linux, but one of the things, this is targeted towards the i7. The book is called Introduction to 64-bit Intel Assembly Language Programming for Linux, but you can still do it for Windows. This is the one book, correlation algorithm book. One can get 20.5 gigaflops per second using the AVX instructions in a Core i7 CPU. That is an incredible performance. That's an amazing benchmark. Okay, I mean, 20 gigaflops per second. That's insane. Okay, so he's using C code with GCC. And it does focus again on C, C++, and Fortran programmers for computer-intensive code. Obviously, that is for algorithms. That's where trading strategies come into play. But we got to learn how to optimize them at a very low level. Okay, so memory mappings, memory models. Registers for 64-bit architectures. You don't need to worry about 32-bit anymore. You'd be wasting your time. Bit operations, branching, looping, floating point, structures, so on and so forth. So you get the idea. But again, it does mention this instruction set, the AVX, okay, on a Core i7. That is very important stuff, okay? Now it goes on about the GDB in Linux. I mean, Linux versus Windows, it can be the same, but that's what I was told. I have not read any of these books, as I said. I'm just showing you the titles as well as some of the descriptions off of the publisher Amazon. So we're going to move into the publisher website, Manning, Metaprogramming in .NET. Actually, let me show you this book first. Dependency injection in .NET. Now, I've been using Java for a while, using Spring with direct dependency injection. It enables to make sure your code is as loosely coupled as possible, so it's not tightly coupled. Okay, right here, because that can really mess you up. Well, I mean, if you're working on a database and whatnot, that's an important step. But a good example would be a fix server. Let's say if you're writing a fix engine, which is quite common if you're getting into more institutional type of trading and coding. It's now done in C#. Obviously, the probably most popular .NET language out there. DI or dependency injection is a classic from Java, the world of Java. But this guy Mark Seaman is introducing it to the world of .NET. using ASP.NET. I've actually saw the importance of direct dependency injection. It is quite good and useful. Anti-patterns. There you go. I'm just reading that. It's funny. Okay. Let's move on to another very important book, Metaprogramming in .NET. This is a fairly new concept. Metaprogramming takes you out of the traditional way of thinking with functional type of programming. It's important because it has less locking, and it's really good for multi-threading, and it makes your logic and your code run blitzkrieg fast. That's what is one of the important things when it comes to very primitive trading systems. So this is a very important book and very critical, especially for the world of .NET. Here's an important claim. This book avoids abstract theory and instead teaches you solid practices you'll find useful immediately. Core concepts like code generation, application, composition, clear, easy to follow language, Okay, so I've seen some examples of this. This is very, very, very powerful. You get the scripts, you get some dynamic language runtime stuff, code generation techniques. This is a very powerful book, and it'll change you. Not in terms of as a programmer from here on out. Okay, it's a good book. So let's leave it at that. Our last book that we're going to look at is, that's it. So in a nutshell, between these 5 books, especially if you're getting into quant, HFT, and you're needing to build tools for trading, especially for analysis and algorithm and strategy building, these are essential books that was pointed out to me, and I thank this person that did that. And I'm hoping you can take away some important lessons from this to put yourself, again, at a world-class level. And instead of being laughed behind the scenes when we can do things like decompile your software, your platform, and make you a much better programmer, because honestly, don't come to my operation applying, because we're gonna have interview questions based around this stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised a lot of the high-end shops in the world of finance are using these books as interview questions, and I didn't know anything about these books until yesterday. That's why I just call myself a mediocre programmer, but maybe after reading these it might change my level and bring me up to my A game in development. Hopefully I'll help you out. Please leave some comments. I'm always encouraged to find out on what people think on this. And again, this book is what makes .NET fast versus Visual C or C++, and this is a key book for .NET. Other than that, over and out.